I'm Andrew James, and this behind me is my 1971 Datsun 240Z.
I'm not gonna lie, this video was filmed almost 3 years before I did anything with it. That means I didn't look at it, I didn't edit it, I didn't do anything with it. Because it was not made with the intent of releasing it with any kind of series with these videos. It was not intended to be part of this project with the car, but it does have some good information about the history of the car and myself.
I've spent the last 2.5 years building this thing in my garage, and I'm still not done? No, because cars are expensive, and, well, they're messy. I'm not getting my deposit back. I've done all the work on this car. All right, I took the strut towers to my brother's to get the bearings pressed out. I don't have all the tools. Don't judge. To be honest, I don't have a background of work on cars. I'm not a mechanic, but I do it anyway. And so far, it's worked out pretty good. So the car is definitely not perfect because I have done all of the work myself, except for those little things. It's nowhere near perfect. I've built houses, play castles, ships, pirate ships, of course, and even tinkered with cars, like this one. My first car build was a 1968 Mercury Cougar. It had a 302 out of a Fox body Mustang, bored to 9.5:1 with flat top pistons, performance cam with a T5 transmission bolted to the back of it, and a 9-inch posi traction to keep it planted to the ground. I built that thing back in my 20s before I got married. That was a long time ago, and I had a lot of help. Now that I'm divorced and in my 40s, I'm finally getting to build another car. I'm partial to the old muscle cars, but that doesn't mean that I don't appreciate the sounds of a finely tuned Civic. There are better examples than a Civic, like this one. This one has the L28 ET swap begging for the rest of the 3-inch exhaust to continue off the custom downpipe from Pro Tuners. The early S30s are easily one of the best looking 70s sports cars and probably the most underrated in my opinion. But building things is really just a hobby. It's something I do for fun and to just learn something new all the time. I've owned this car for about 14 years. I bought it from a neighbor. I bought this and a 1983 280ZX with a turbo for $100 each. $200. Can't get that kind of deal nowadays, right? When I started on this car, I was into it a total of $200. So this one needed some rust repair and your standard rocker panels, quarter panels, frame rails, floor, battery tray. It was also missing the powertrain. So no motor, no transmission, and the wiring harness in the engine bay actually looked like it had been melted, put back together poorly, and then melted again. I rebuilt that. That was fun. Never done that before. But the overall condition of this car was good. I knew the 83 had been started and ran briefly about 2 years prior to when I got it. It wasn't running great and it needed a lot of attention to bring it back from its deteriorating state. It had a lot of rust. It was about the same amount, maybe even more rust than this one had. And this one had all the paint stripped off of the top of it. It just blows my mind. So back in high school, I owned a 1973 240Z that I just absolutely loved. It never ran great. It was always a lot of trouble. It had a bad battery, a leaky radiator, and I mean, the carbs were in desperate need of rebuild. I would actually have to jump start it almost every day before I could drive to school. It was also the coolest, most fun car I had ever driven. To this day, it still stands out as probably the most fun I've ever had in a car. So I didn't have it very long. It was back in high school. It was the 90s and parts were a lot harder to find and way more expensive. I haven't actually been able to drive this one. It's been about 20 years since it's been able to move under its own power, but it's getting really close. I decided to take the important stuff off of the 83 and put it into the 71, but I was gonna do it better. Definitely not going in stock. You know, I only regret what I did to the 280ZX. So I cut that thing up and put it into the bed of a truck, and and then hauled it to the scrapyard, and then got my money back. I've swapped in the L28 from the 83 with its T5 transmission, but I've run into problems. The shifter didn't line up with the hole or the mount or anything. I had to move the whole engine back 2 inches to get the shifter to go through the hole, which means that I had to modify the motor mounts and build a transmission mount for the car.
It's all gotta move, because the engine's coming out and it's getting moved 2 inches forward, and I gotta figure out how to run this turbo a different way, because it's not going to work the way it is set up currently. Not going to work at all.
Surprisingly, not that hard. I've rebuilt the engine myself, upgraded to the ProTuner's intake and fuel rail, upgraded to an electronic ignition with a Megasquirt ECU, Teletronics gauges, 3-row aluminum radiator, ProTuner's headers, and downpipe attached to the only turbo I could find that would fit it. I had to try 3 different turbos before one fit. Moving the engine back 2 inches took some room from the fitment, but I got it in. So I did everything from stripping it down to where it's at. Even the paint job. It's not the best paint job. Yeah. The gray is completely custom with some really cool metallic flakes of red and silver and blue and purple, and I mean, this paint actually started as red. So one unique fact is this was an experiment where I tried to use glow-in-the-dark pigment in the clear coat. Doesn't work on the gray. So my compressor wanted to die when I started spraying this, so definitely not the best paint job I've ever done. So I think this is the 5th car that I've painted, and I've done a motorcycle. So the motorcycle is actually what inspired the purple on this car. It was a complete accident. It was supposed to be black, but I added way too much pearl into the clear coat, and it turned it purple. Almost the same color of purple that this is. This is actually purple haze metallic. So it's actually a real color, and not one that I got by accident.
Alright, that's a little history about me and the Z and my relationship with the Z cars. It was filmed a long time ago in a garage far, far away, and these videos are going to be uploaded in no particular order until I can get caught up on all the old footage. It's just me doing this while I'm trying to build a car, and that adds a lot of time to everything. I'll do my best to make all these videos entertaining, but I'm not going to make any promise that they'll be good. Like and subscribe for more poorly juxtaposed car content. I'm going to try to release a video once a week, but I'm making no guarantees that it'll actually happen while I'm still trying to finish the car. After this car's done, I've got another one in the works. It's going to be the MG that I've talked about in other videos. That will get its own series. So thanks for watching, and come back for the next one.